I feel like I know what kind of day it is, chat. So I feel like I know what kind of day it is. It's gonna be. So this is proper ASMR content right now, isn't it? Because you know, I've been thinking a lot recently, chat, and this is why I drink. I'm joking. I drink because I have a problem. But I've been thinking a lot, right? With everything that's going on in the world right now, I've been seeing a lot of people sort of using their influence and trying to. What am I drinking? Some Echo Falls. Like, it's basically wine, but it's not wine. You know, it's basically wine, but it's not wine. Anyway, I should get wine glasses. I'm getting so off topic, but yeah, I've been seeing a lot of people use their influence very recently, in like how they want to make things better within their own spaces. So for example, there's a Twitch streamer very recently started following, I believe his name's Brandon, and he's been using the influence that he has to talk about Twitch. And you know how Twitch needs to do better for black content creators, because everything that's going on right now, it's not a trend, you know, it's not a fad, it's not something that's gonna pass very soon. Like, this is some real shit, and this is important, and we need to talk about it and do better, so that when all of this is over, hopefully we're in a position where everyone still feels good, you know, and we don't just go back to square one. And I think what I can do right now is work for improvements within the FGC, right? I've already been talking about this stuff, and I can get Izanagi Picario back, so that's not too bad. Yeah, I've been talking about this stuff for a long time, and I feel like this has come at a good, well, this is not a good time. There's no such thing as it's come at a good time, but this is, you know, this has sort of come at a very opportune moment in time, I guess. For me anyway. Because I'm, you know, I've had enough of this within the FGC, and I can't make a huge impact on the world, you know? I can't make a huge impact on the world. I can't do that. But what I can do is hopefully make an influence within the FGC, and hopefully I can try and make things better within the FGC with what I'm doing. And it's good to know that I'm not alone in this. Like, we have people, like I've said before, Kadukor and Alicia. I wouldn't have been speaking without them. I have to continue to give them the reverence they deserve when it comes to this. And lots more people are speaking out as well, and it's getting to the point where we are working together to get people who to at least say these kinds of horrible shit we see, to say it, that get these people banned or talked to and get stuff done about them, because it doesn't make the FGC a welcome environment to have them around. And I think one thing that I found that is quite funny is a lot of the people who were very much aggressively anti me when I was talking about this stuff, and properly, like, you know, trying to shout me down when I'm talking about these race issues, and just making a huge fuss when I talk about these things. A lot of these people who are like, you know, who are worried about, you know, the stuff, you know, I'm actually being racist to a lot of stuff I'm saying, you know, they're worried about real racism and stuff like that. A lot of these people who are saying that stuff are completely silent now. A lot of these people are completely silent now, 100% silent, not saying a damn thing. So all it does is it just lets you know where their allegiances lie. You know, it just lets you know that they don't care about the real racism. They don't care about, you know, the real problem. They don't you know, they're not saying I'm just not making a small fuss or anything like that. They just don't care about racism in general, and they don't want to hear about it, and they don't want to see it, and they want they just want people to stop talking about it. Shut up, because they're worried about themselves. What issues you see in the FGC? I played Tekken for a while, but I can't say I've noticed racial issues in the community. And I've been active. There's been a lot. There's been quite a bit. I'm not in the camp of bringing up the past. I'm not in the camp of bringing up the past. But just like very, you know, there is something I'll bring up. There is something I'll bring up. A situation last year in which King J was called a cotton picker by someone who's by a content creator, UK content creator. And you know, Bandai Namco didn't do anything about this guy. You know, he was banned from local events and local online tournaments, but he wasn't allowed to. No, he was still allowed to go to Tekken World Tour events, right? He was still, you know, he was at Versus Fighting, he was at the Mix Up, and you know, he was been doing a lot of stuff, you know, making jokes about, you know, Jay eating chicken and, you know, fried chicken jokes and stuff like that. He was doing a lot, and you know, still coming to Tekken World Tour events, you know. And this is something I've been talking about for a long time now, a very long time. You know, last year, even when Jay wasn't talking too much about it, obviously because of, you know, he just wanted to just move past it. You know, I was one of the first people to publicly be like, listen, this is a problem, and you know, it shouldn't, you know, like, why is this guy? Because in private, a lot of people didn't like him. In private, a lot of people weren't saying anything, but it was, you know, someone kind of needed to say something on the public level, and I'm glad that I did, but I got a lot of shit for it. You know, apparently he has fans, and a lot of that guy that said that horrible statement had fans, and they were attacking me, you know, saying shit whenever I was in tournament, sending me DMs. Same thing happened earlier this year. You know, I called out something else. I had people attacking me, attacking my sponsor, doing a lot of things, right? And that it does make people afraid to speak out. 100%. I was afraid to speak out because I didn't want it to keep happening, but I feel like we're at breaking point now, especially with everything that's going on in the world right now. Like, you just can't ignore it anymore, and things have to be said, and lines have to be drawn, and you know, I feel like the FGC as a whole can't ignore this stuff anymore, because the FGC's liked to ignore this kind of stuff. But what's going on in the world right now, you can't ignore it. You have to confront it. And I'm glad that we are, and I'm glad that things are moving forward, and like a lot of people are speaking out now, and it feels safe to do so. And that makes me very happy for the state we're in right now. It's a shame it took a young black man to lose his life for everyone to open their eyes and see this kind of thing, but I'm glad it's happening. I'll continue to say Black Lives Matter until I die, and it's been heartwarming to see people in the FGC follow suit. And for those people who wanted to shout me down and quite, you know, shush me when I was talking about race issues in the past, for them to now be silent says a lot. Says a lot that these people are now not saying anything at all, right? They're moving on like nothing's going on, but they have a problem when I'm talking about racism. They have a problem when I'm talking about problems in the FGC, and they're like, no, this isn't real racism, that's not the problem. And it's like, fine, but when the problem is when the problem does rear its ugly face in such an ugly manner as it has now, and an unavoidable manner as it has now, if you're not saying anything now, you've let me know what your problem was. Your problem was you didn't want someone talking about racism from the beginning, and you didn't want people calling this shit out from the beginning. What, were you scared that you're next? Right? That's all it is. I'm not saying, you know, everyone needs to make a huge statement. I'm not saying everyone needs to get in get involved and do whatever. Like just do your part. You know, some people don't feel comfortable speaking on something they're not that knowledgeable on, and that's fine, but do your part to help out where you can. If you're not doing anything, you're silent in the situation, I look at you sideways. And for the people who are complaining about the rioting and the looting that's going on, that isn't even a product of what Black Lives Matter are trying to put out. For the people that are complaining about that and, you know, saying, oh, this is that, when obviously there have been clear reports of the police getting involved and people not associated getting involved, but that's whatever. But if you're making a statement about that and saying this is wrong and this is wrong, and you know this isn't how you do it, but you didn't say anything about George Floyd's death in the first place, you're not invited to the conversation. You're not invited to the conversation. I don't think. I think we're gonna let you stay outside for this one, because it's clear what you care about. Don't tell us how to manage our pain. That's all it is.